Welcome back, my business bestie. Today, we're talking about 3 signs you're ready for a group practice. Some of you might already know and be in a group practice. This is for the person who is really in the contemplation stage, who's maybe following me and we're chatting over on Instagram. Maybe you've been following this podcast for years. I know some of you have. And there's days that you wake up and you say, this is the day. I am ready. And then other days you wake up and you say, hell no. And you're really just oscillating. And I want you, I'm like pretending I'm holding both of your hands and I'm looking into your eyes right now. Okay. Let's, at the end of this episode, get you clarity. Because here's the thing. I was also on the fence. I was on the fence for a short time, which I'll tell you about in a sec. But being on the fence is painful. Picture it, sitting on a fence, painful. Really painful, where one day it's a yes, one day it's a no. I was very much on the fence about starting this podcast, believe it or not, because I didn't have the time. And my gut and my soul was calling me to speak to you on a weekly basis, but I kept honestly just being on the fence. I had so much going on and I fully wanted to give it my all. And day after day, I was like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And then guess what happened? The universe aligned. And when I said yes to this brighter future, the podcast has been amazing for us, hasn't it? To connect. I felt relief. And it wasn't until I got off the fence that I noticed how exhausting it is. So as I hold your hand and as I look into your eyes, I'm telling you, through this journey over the next 20 minutes, you will leave here with clarity. Okay. Let's get into number 1. Are you ready? Okay. Me too. Number 1, you are ready for a group practice if you have a wait list, or maybe you don't have a wait list. I didn't have a wait list. We'll get to that in a sec. Or you're referring out. You're probably referring out because you can't do it all. You're just one person. Here's the thing. I didn't have a wait list because I was coming from a place of scarcity and I said yes to almost every client. And as a result, I was working way too much, which is number 2. I'll get to that more in a moment. If you have a wait list, you're leaving money on the table. We both know that. If you don't have a wait list, maybe you're just seeing too many clients, or are you referring out? I was referring out for a very long time. I saw individuals and couples, and I was referring out all my teens, all my kids, and all my families. What happens when you see couples is you can, and some of you don't even see them as individuals. So it depends what model you use. So you're like, well, I can't see you individually either. So you're constantly referring out. And then one day, no lie, I had one therapist. I just gave her everything. I trusted her. She was amazing. And then one day she tells me, I'm starting a group practice. Guys, I built her group practice. Are you building anybody's group practice because you're literally sending them all the clients? Why don't you keep them in-house? Now, for me, even though I knew I was building her group practice, I was too busy on the hamster wheel of hour after hour after hour. I would work Sundays, guys. I would work Saturdays. I'm a workhorse. There'd be days that, oh my God, I would get up at 5 a.m. and obviously not see clients at that time, get my solo practice ready and all the things. And then I would work because I would never say no to a client until 7 p.m. I vividly remember I was just running to the washroom and I was so tired, like a different level of tired. And then I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm working 12 hours because I started work at 5. And guess how I would deal with that deep exhaustion? I'm not even a mom yet at this point, okay? And then I found out what real exhaustion is. But this deep burnout exhaustion, guess how I dealt with it? The only way I could. You just run faster on the hamster wheel. Have you ever done that where I was so burnt out that the only way to get through the day was adrenaline? So then I wouldn't, this is like so unhealthy. I can't believe I'm admitting this. I've never said this on the podcast. I wouldn't take breaks because I would be afraid I would fall asleep. I wouldn't take breaks because I would be afraid if this engine stops and I stop at the stoplight, I wouldn't even stop at the stoplight, that it will just hit me like a punch in the face, my exhaustion. So I would keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Is that what you're living right now? That for me leads me to number 2. So not only was I referring out all the time, I didn't have a wait list because I wanted to keep all the abundance, but I was absolutely burning out. But then as a result, I was exhausted and I became so sick of hitting the ceiling in my income. I wanted compound interest. I wanted a life like, wait, maybe I can replicate myself and work less and make more. One thing I'll admit before I get into number 2, I would then come home to my husband with nothing left in me. I had no more conversation left in me, 0. So we'd be at the dinner table. We didn't have kids yet. And he would say, how's your day? And I would just be like, good. And that's it. That's all I had. And then I would listen to him. I could barely listen to him. Honestly, thank God I built a group practice. All I craved, it was so bad near the end. I can admit this now because I'm not doing anymore. I would be in therapy sessions dreaming of watching television. And it had to be easy listening. Like nothing, no, definitely no crime. It had to be like the Kardashians. Oh yeah, I'm admitting it all, guys. I'm admitting it all to you today. It had to be light. It had to be The Bachelor. It had to be all of those shows because I just needed to not think and not listen and definitely not talk. That's number 1. You have a wait list or you're referring out. Then that means you're ready for a group practice. Number 2, you become sick of hitting the ceiling in your income and sick of how much you actually have to work. You see, I got away with it. I was in my 20s. I got away with it all up until mid 30 working that hard. Here's the truth. I had a good life. We had a townhouse at that time by the water. But here's the thing. The amount I had to work to have that life was not, for 15 years, it just wasn't possible anymore. I wasn't happy working all the time, because what is the point of living by the water if you're in your office inside resentful because it's another beautiful day, but I'm not on the water. I'm making money to pay to be by the water that I never visit. And then the twins came. I was 35 when I had the twins, which, by the way, you have a propensity to drop 2 eggs when you're older. Noted. Okay. I dropped 2 eggs, not 1. They're natural. And by the way, I said this in a podcast a while ago. We never had the conversation about twins, not once. I don't know what I was thinking. My grandma's a twin. I have twin cousins. He has twin sisters. They're everywhere. But we just never, I don't know why. I was 35. I was just very happy to get pregnant. And I sure did. But wait, now we need to move. We live in a small townhouse and I need money for 2 cribs, 2 high chairs, 2 car seats. Do you know how much a stroller is? It is a lot of money. Do you know how much a double stroller is? It's double the money. What do? I'm burnt out. I have no conversation left for one person. How am I supposed to be this mom that I know I deeply just want to be home more? And that's when life made me ready. There was no more on the fence. There was no more maybe one day. It was, I'm doing it for my kids. I'm doing it for the future me. Do you feel that? A lot of you end up working with me inside the clinic growth map because life chose you having a group practice, like kind of the same as me. Here's the truth. Your ticket to freedom is a group practice, but only if you work with somebody who's going to help you systemize it. Here's the truth, the real truth. I still didn't do it for 2 years. I became pregnant and I had to get ready for them coming. You only have 9 months. So I focused on that and managing being a new mom with 2 baby boys. And so I just kept doing what I'm doing. Have you been doing that? Where like 2 years will go by and you're like, oh my gosh, I meant to start this group practice 2 years ago, but life just keeps happening. And then one fateful day. I will never forget it. Kind of like the guilt got the best of me. I pulled in, and my baby boys, the 2-year-old, they were 2 at the time, Jackson and Lucas, they would always look out the window waiting for mama. It was 7 p.m. again. And that day, just looking at, oh my God, they were so chubby. They look like cabbage patches, just waiting for mama and banging on the glass. And I just broke down. I cried a lot on the inside, but this day I cried on the outside. And I just walked in and I told Dan, I'm hiring. I'm hiring. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to get the right help and I'm going to hire. And then, within 3 years, I scaled to 55 therapists. It was the best decision I ever made, but it was because I surrounded myself with the best of the best. But what I'm mostly proud of, I invested $100,000 for real in all the business coaches. None of them work with therapists. And I took that and now apply it into the clinic growth map. But what I'm really proud of, it was automated. We got a cottage shortly after when the money started coming in. We could go to the cottage and be on the boat with the kids, playing on the beach, and just be fully present. Do you want that? Not just to have a group practice, but to systemize it and streamline it and hire the right people in a way that the money could be coming in. You could be making the impact, but truly, you could be so present in this beautiful life that's waiting. Stark difference. Rewind 2 years than the old me on the hamster wheel that was afraid to stop running. Here's what I love about our industry. There are very little startup costs. There's a low barrier of entry. When I met my husband, Dan, he had a cafe on Roncesvalles. It's a trendy place in Toronto. You might know it if you've ever been to Toronto or you live here. And it was an old second cup, which is our version of Starbucks. We have Starbucks too, but anyway, so he bought an old second cup so it was very beautiful. But think about it. He had to get a massive loan, all the tables, all the chairs, the refrigerators, the ice cream makers, the coffee grinders, the cashiers, and then all the people. And the worst part is if it was slow, there's nothing he can do. Aren't we lucky that if you're slow, I told myself this, if I'm slow in my group practice and at the beginning, I'm going to see my clients. I'm going to keep my solo clients until I don't need to see them with the income flowing in from the group practice. But aren't we lucky when you're standing there and you have a new cafe that you just dropped $100,000 in and no one's coming in, there's nothing else to do. That is not our reality. God, didn't we pick the right degree? Repeat after me, pause me and say it out loud, even if you're on the bus. I picked the right degree. I picked the right degree. Gosh, we're so lucky. We're literally changing lives, but also it can be a big business. I'm going to say that again. Wait, for real. Low barrier of entry. You don't need $100,000 loan. And you can feed yourself and pay for your own life by just you can see clients to make income right away. So if it feels stressful, I told myself, okay, I don't need a massive loan. And on the slow days, I'll keep my clients and they're going to pay for my life, my clients. And here's what I did. The people I hired covered my group practice costs. And then it's a snowball effect because now all my group practice costs are covered. So then I'm hiring more. And guess what? Now I'm keeping a portion for myself. And then I hire more and I'm keeping even more for myself. Now I'm dwindling my solo clients. Oh, this feels good. And it's automated. This is amazing. Now I'm seeing 80% less of my clients, but I'm still supervising. And then this snowball called group practice continues to feed me. Eventually I'm seeing no clients at all. Holy cow. This group practice continues to feed me. And then eventually I'm not supervising at all. And I step into my CEO role, but I have supervisors, I have operation managers, I have people, clinic managers, and admin team of 6 running the show for me so I can enjoy being a mom because my kids are only young for so long. Low barrier of entry. very little startup costs. But the best part, no ceiling. No ceiling. You can build a multi-million-dollar company. You can do that. You don't need $100,000 loan like Dan did for his cafe, which, by the way, he ended up closing. I convinced him to do that because it was just not a good job. Never buy a cafe, not a good business move. But you can build something that is $1 million, $5 million. P.S. I just connected with my old business coach, and he was telling me that he works with a group practice. This is a different type. It's not therapy though. It was speech language pathology. She just sold her clinic. Ready for it? Stop the car. 85 million. I know. I've never heard of that. That is not common. That is not very normal. But I almost fell off my chair. We can build big businesses. But here's the thing. We are born. I know you're like me. This is why you were attracted to this podcast. We both know why we're on this planet is to help people, to heal people. We are light workers. And my gosh, and it could change our whole lives, our whole family's lives, our kids, your whole lineage could shift because it can also bring more abundance than you can even fathom, my beautiful friend. Let's get into number 3. You are ready for a group practice. The third sign is if you know deeply that your vision, it's bigger than just you. It's bigger than just you. You know in your gut you're meant for more. I was raised in a trailer park, and in some ways, I don't know where all this, like my spirit came from, but I believe our soul picks this life. So my soul knew this is all like, yes, I'm coming back. I'm going to do this whole thing. And so I was very clear, despite my childhood, despite your childhood, despite if you are a single parent or whatever in your past, if your soul and your heart just knows deeply, no, I am here to make a huge impact, then deeply I knew I could not do it alone. I could not do it. It needed to have compound interest. I needed more people. And I put it out there. And I was magnetic. I deeply believe in the law of attraction. I know you know if you're following me at all. I manifested all the right people and I followed exactly what they told me. I did not do it alone. Let's recap. Let's recap the 3 signs that you're ready for a group practice. Number 1, you either have a wait list or you're referring out. Number 2, you're really sick of hitting the ceiling in your income. You're sick of having to sit in front of a client virtually or in person to actually have money flowing in. And lastly, you know you're meant for more. You know, and you know this is your next best step. This is why I love the Clinic Growth Map community. I attract, because I'm a powerful magnetic energy, versions of me, and they're all inside the Clinic Growth Map. If you want to join us, I would suggest you book a strategy call, a 45-minute business call. It's free with one of my advisors. They'll chat with you about your bottlenecks, your goals, what's stopping you from getting there. And then they'll let you know if you would be a good fit. I am picky. Not everybody gets in. I really want it to be a similar vibration. Because here's the thing, truth. Right now, at the time of this recording, we have 95-star Google reviews. And to be honest, I only want to work with people that I'll get an amazing testimonial from. I know that sounds weird, but I want to work with the people who are going to reach the 7-figure mark, who are going to do the things, who are ready, who are coachable. That's my vibe. That's where the fun's at. Book your call. The link is in the show notes. And one day I have a feeling I'm going to meet you and I get to see your beautiful face. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.